7:02. All right, we're going to go ahead and start this slideshow and review this information. The BASC Virtual Coaches Meeting 2021. I want to take a second and thank you guys for coaching the team. Thanks for stepping up. You guys make the club. Without you guys, we don't have teams. And I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty. So right now, you guys are learning how a coach fakes it until he makes it. Just say. All right, we're sorry about that. Had to get rid of some stuff off my screen. It took me a second. So thank you guys for stepping up and coaching. Man, I really appreciate it. I know I had to do some arm twisting this season to a couple of you guys, and you're going to have a great season. You're going to have a lot of fun. Most of the younger ages where I twisted the arms, but really appreciate you guys coming out and helping us. Our mission statement, I'm into mission statements, man. Developing future players in the game of soccer and life. Just keep their perspective right. It's not about winning. You know, you're not going to build Neymar this season, I promise you. It's way more than that, what you guys are doing with these kids. So thank you so much. Tonight's schedule, all coaches will be from 7:04 in about 30 seconds to 7:45. We're going to hit a lot of key information, cover some highlights. New coaches, if you could stay with me, and we'll go from about 7:50 to 8:45. And I don't want to hurry too much. Like Jason said, he's going to answer questions. Barbara Wilson's in the room to help us as well to keep it going. And we got some Kevin Lemasters here. He'll be talking to you guys. So that's it. We're going to jump right in. Any questions, please shoot them over in the chat and we'll get them answered. And if you can, try to keep your microphone muted, and we'll give Jason the floor to cover questions that might need further answered. All right, so tonight's rosters are preliminary only. The players are not final. Instructions on how to find your roster can be found on the meeting page and in Coach's Corner. Don't contact the players. Please don't contact the players. It creates a huge mess. I seen David Reddick and logging in earlier. He could testify to some of the stuff he's had to deal with, and Ben Newby will have to deal with it now. He's the registrar this season. Email any changes along with your team name from your preliminary roster to registration at BASC. I'm sorry, basoccer.club. It's hard for me to say. Sooner the better for us. That way it makes your game schedule. You won't be U6B. You will have your team name on your roster. It's get it in quick. We should have them done by February 7th. You'll receive an email from the club telling you to contact your parents and begin practice. Players signing up late will probably not be on the same team. It's a huge undertaking to get these kids to the rosters. We can't sit there and move players around and make room when people sign up late. So it's an undertaking. It's a lot of work involved. Play-up forms were due at the time of registration. Players without a form are placed in the actual age bracket. That's something you might explain to your parents. If you have anybody playing up, make sure that they fill that form out at the registration. All right, so important dates. If we're all live here in the room, this is where I would get out my phone and take a picture of the screen behind me. But since we're not all here, you know, I'm adding some people, so give me just a second. Where'd you go? The important dates: new coaches training February 6th. Grassroots licensing, I don't have any scheduled. I got to get with the state association to get that scheduled. And with COVID-19, we're kind of slow to schedule stuff like that right now. But please come out. And if you're not a new coach, come out. Garen McGinnis will be coming out to discuss team management, and there'll be 2 coaches running sessions towards the end of the time period. It's going to be 8 to noon on February 6th. Final roster should be ready on February 7th. You'll be emailed. Don't contact your players until then. Your blackout dates opens when you get your final roster. So it'll be after February 7th. They'll open that up and you guys can enter your blackout dates. And that's going to close on February 14th. You got to love that. 2 blackout dates for the closed league, 4 blackout dates for the open league. No league games at Indian Springs on the 16th of April or the 18th of April, 16th through the 18th, April 22nd through 25th, and you guys can read that. You still may have away games. So remember that if you're in an open league, you're probably going to have a away game during those dates because they know you're not playing here. So we don't have control over that in the open league when you play other places. Field day. Field day's Saturday, February 13th, 8 a.m. Meet at the East Shed at Indian Springs Sports Complex. Season schedule should be published by February 26th. The spring season kicks off March 6th and closes May 16th. So be ready to play on March 6th. You guys will have a game on the 6th or 7th. Almost everybody will. So just let your parents know to kind of leave that weekend open. I'm going to give Kevin Borgestedt the screen for a second, and he's going to talk a little bit about field day.
Can they see me there? No,
we can see you.
Okay, in that case, is that where you can see it in the screen?
Yes.
All right. So Kevin LeMaster, I'm the fields guy. This is my contact info. There's a couple of things I may want you contacted me about. I can hold that there. As Rick said, field day is February 13th. That's 2 Saturdays from now, 8 o'clock in the morning. The members of the club aren't just the coaches and the players, they're also the parents. This is a club, it's a nonprofit, it's held up by volunteers. We need help out there. I'm having 5 tons of sand delivered tomorrow. We're going to start trying to raise some of the low spots out there. So besides what's on the website to bring for field day, if you have a wheelbarrow and a shovel, that could probably help us out some too. The field closure committee, I am needing 1 person for the field closure committee. If that is something you may be interested in, you can contact me. I need 1 more person for it. The fields are closed by a committee, not by me. So that number you just got, don't call me to find out if the fields are closed that day, is what I'm trying to say. Something I always try to say, flags on the west side, if you have west side games, you don't have to drive to the east side shed to get your flags. There are flags on the back side of the concession stand on the west side that can save you a lot of time, and that's a lot of hassle when all the fields are full. 1 more thing, trying to get help and volunteers. This will probably be my last term as the fields guy. In May, they'll vote for a new fields guy. If you think you may be interested in that, give me a call, spend some time with me this season, learn what's up. I love it. I've seen all the positions on the board, and man, this is the one if you're into manual labor and not dealing with coaches and parents. Anyway, give me a call. I'd love to chat with you, let you know what's all involved, and that's all I've got.
Sure.
Yep.
All right. So coaches, if you have some kids that need to burn off some energy, try to get out there and help us with that field day. It's time just to hang out. More people we have, the shorter it is. We can get some of you guys that tell me you're competitive, and that's why you get all my referees out there, and we'll see how fast you can load a wheelbarrow. We'll have a competitive race on wheelbarrow loading. All right, so spring season's March 6th. Everyone interacting with players must register as a coach or manager and pass a background check, complete the concussion training, and complete the safe sport training. that's a must. It's not a request. You know, it's keeps our kids safe. It keeps our club safe. It's mandated really by U.S. Soccer. We're under OSA, but we're not the only people that do this. Everybody has to do it. I know it takes a little bit of time, but if you have somebody working with your team, they need to go through the same procedures that you are to get registered as a coach. They can take the manager path or the coach path. It doesn't matter to us. We just need them on your roster. Remember the witness rule for practice and games. Don't be alone with any player, regardless of their age. It's you plus one. So what I tell my team is if you have something to do after practice, leave right after practice, because when we get down to me plus one, you're staying until the child that is left, parents are there. And sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 15 minutes. But whoever is second to last is staying. It's just a known rule with our kids. Make sure you put that out there at your parent meeting. Every goal needs to be staked down. If you're missing stakes, email the complex manager at basoccer.club or practicefield@basoccer.club for your practice field goals. It's really important. We don't want anybody getting hurt. You know, a lot of people use our goals, not just Broken Arrow Soccer Club. Let's make sure they're staked down. Matt Yeager has been around the goals. He's done a really good job taking care of our practice fields. The nets are in pretty good shape. And if you need a new net, you can get one out of Kevin's east side shed, and he will gladly hand you one when you come out for field day. So there's a bunch of nets in there ready to go to your practice field that you can put up. Never climb on the goals or hang from them. If you see that happening, please tell the kids to get off. You know, man, it's dangerous. We don't want anybody getting hurt. Your medical releases signed, you need them for every player. Keep them with you in your book, your coach's book. We need to make sure we have those in case somebody gets hurt. It's not very often we have to seek medical attention, but you don't want to be worrying about a release if you have a hurt child at practice. The inclement weather policy is up on the website. We play in cold weather, we play in hot weather, we play in all weather. So be ready. The sirens will sound out there, the horn will blast, but be familiar with that policy up on the website. No alcohol or tobacco policy. It's pretty easy. It's no alcohol or tobacco. So that's an easy policy to remember. Just keep it away from your team. You're an influence. Your team is looking at you. Those kids are looking at you. I can remember some guys that did both when I was young. It's impressionable. So soccer is not a no contact sport. There's plenty of contact, and some kids play a little bit, I'm going to say rougher than others, but it's inside the rules. They're, know the rules of the game, get them in front of your parents. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. You can't have toe cleats or earrings. I don't care if you just got your ears pierced yesterday, a week ago, you can't have them. So they don't want Band-Aids on them. It's not acceptable. Yeah, excuse me while I take this call. Sorry about that. It's not acceptable. The ref doesn't even really care why you have earrings. So don't, he doesn't want to hear it. He's not going to let them play. Don't put your, don't put your kid in that position. Don't put the referee in that position. I can't find him. Excuse me while we're trying to let some more people in. So you can't, don't put the referee in the position to tell your kid that he ain't playing. It's the rules, no earrings, no toe cleats. And let's, yeah, Kevin's helping me. I can't wait to help him with that wheelbarrow next week. So don't make the referee be the bad guy. It never works out. You can't play with toe cleats. And I'm going to finish with this. I'm sorry, Kevin's, we're trying to let some people in. I appreciate your all's patience while we work through this. Let's say 3 referees let your kid play with toe cleats, and the 4th one says, hey, you can't play with toe cleats. the fourth referee is right. You need to go track down the other three that let him play and yell at them, because you cannot play with toe cleats in soccer. Give me just a second while I invite some more people in. Give me just a second. I apologize. Take a drink, stretch your legs. I'll be right back. Give me just a second. I'm gonna mute. All right, sorry about that. We opened the door for some more people to get in, and I apologize for that. I'm the only one that has control over that, I guess. So just real quick, remember the referee, it's a law of the game, no toe cleats, no earrings, no jewelry. Don't put the referee in that position. Your kid's not going to play with Band-Aids on his ears. It's just, or her ears, their ears, whatever. Try to take care of that. Peyton's on here. She hated me for a long time because I wouldn't let her get her ears pierced. So one year, as soon as the fall season ended, she went and got her ears pierced like the next day. That very weekend she went out. You guys got to plan a little bit better. It's a rule of the game. We know they're going to close up and they're going to grow back in. We know all that, but it's still a rule of the game. And bad things have happened to kids with earrings.
Before we move from that slide, we'll talk about again the game card and being on the game card, but the risk that puts them in if they don't have an assistant on the game card, et cetera.
Yeah. So last season we had some issues with Got Sport, and those issues are getting better, but they're still there. If your assistant coach or you or your manager's not on your game card, you're going to be in trouble when the referee asks you to show your card and they can't. They're going to have to clear the bench and go to the other side of the field. It's another law that we're going to follow. Last season, I think we were a little bit laxed with the problems we had. Understand that this season we will start game one with no leniency. The referees are going to ask for them. It's mandated by U.S. Soccer. It's mandated by OSA. I probably made a mistake last season by giving us a week or two to get that stuff in line. But know that this year, if you're not on there, you're not going to get in. You're not going to get in. I apologize. I just let Jose in the room. So you're not going to get to coach your team if you don't have an adult on your roster or a coach on your roster. Then you're going to forfeit your game. I can't stress to you guys enough that you have to get it done, and everything needs to be complete. I'm saying on your roster, I think only four team managers, coaches will fit on your roster or your game card. I'm sorry, but they'll be on your roster. So have a copy of your roster with everybody on it. And when the ref asks for it, you can show them your roster with your game card if you need to. Oh man, love me some Quick Trip tea. So that's everybody. So again, it seems like when somebody comes to us and challenges us, we put ourselves in the position where, well, can't you just give me a break? We can't give you a break. It's the rules. We know about it. I know we're all volunteers, but we still need to meet those requirements and get that stuff done. So understand that when we put ourselves in a bad position, we put our well-being in other people's hands, and nobody cares about us as much as we care about ourselves. That's what Jason Dobbins told me. So
So just another word on that, guys. It's safe sport, right? It's about the risk management of these kids. Think back the last 5 to 10 years, how many news stories there have been about some youth athlete or some other kid that's been, some abuse has been uncovered, or somebody in a position of authority and power over these kids had done something they shouldn't. That's where this comes from. Okay, so if you have somebody on your sideline with you and they're not on your game card, they're not on your game card because they've not been risk management assessed. They've not passed risk management. That's where this is coming from. We have a responsibility, all of us as volunteers, coaches, and parents, to make sure that the people that interact with our kids, are should be right. That we don't have people interacting with them that have a history of something that is unsavory. Okay, so I can't tell you, probably last fall, half a dozen times I had coaches argue with me on the pitch line, on the sideline, that, hey, this person needs to be in your game card, and they would argue. Right? There's no place for arguing about this. I think this is a non-negotiable that we should all be in agreement with, that we want the people to interact with our kids to be properly vetted. So that's where this is coming from. Thank you.
all right, so I think you've heard it from 2 different people that it's very, very important that we have this done. The referees are going to be looking for it. If they tell you to leave the sidelines, we need you to leave the sidelines. Like I said, don't put your well-being in other people's hands. All right, so I can tell by the feedback in the room that everybody understands that. The referee abuse, we're not going to tolerate it. Ryan Egan is the games commissioner. He loves meeting with parents and coaches in the evenings after they get off work to explain to them that we're not going to abuse our referees. Coaches, you're responsible for your sidelines. And again, I know you're volunteers, but set your tone at your first team meeting that, hey, we will not talk to the referees. I'll talk to them at halftime. I'll talk to them after the game. And then when you talk to them, you need to treat them like they're your kid, not some kid down the street. Be gentle with them, and maybe don't be critical at all, because they really don't care what coaches think anyway. And I'll just say that out loud. They really don't. We have no influence on a referee being a coach. The only influence that referees have is other referees. So we really just need to turn it into to our area referee, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But know that you're responsible for your sideline behavior. If a parent gets ejected, a coach leaves with them. So that's kind of what I tell my parents. If you get me ejected, we're both going to go to the same car, and I'm going to let them hear what I think about what they just did to their team, their kid, and the coach that volunteers his time. So have that discussion at your first team meeting, and anything that happens after that is a lot smoother. They're going to follow your lead. If you're calm, they'll be calm. Most referees at the U12 and below are kids. They're still learning the game. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to be nervous. It's just human nature. You're going to make mistakes at practice. You're going to make mistakes in the game, and they're not going to yell at you. They're not even going to say anything except for a sub at the midline.
Rick, I have a question.
Even professional referees make mistakes. Now they got
Rick, can you hear me?
Replay, and don't expect your local referee to be perfect. Some of these kids are just getting started. When I was younger, I made the great mistake of I had a player he got taken out in a tournament, and it was pretty blatant, and I didn't realize that I had an adult new referee, and I didn't handle it very well. I would have handled it a lot better if I would have known if it was a younger kid. But yeah, Marshall, sorry about that. I apologize to him several times a year. He's a good friend of mine, and we've developed a relationship over the years. So everybody has a camera. If you want to be on a website, act a fool at a soccer game, and you'll be famous on the web. So don't cross the line. Stay off the field. Don't go off on the referees. Keep your sidelines in check.
Rick, I have a question.
All right, Jason's saying no questions on that. So looks like everybody understands that we're going to treat our referees with respect and understand that they're human.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
They're young.
Can you hear me?
David, go ahead.
Hey, you made the statement that if a parent gets sent off, that the coach also gets sent off. Is that new?
Right? That's the only way I've ever seen it happen is when a parent gets sent off, the coach goes with them for not keeping the sidelines in order.
How do you keep the sideline in order when it's across the field from you?
I use my cell phone and I call my manager and I have my manager hand the parent the phone. And usually the referee will give you a chance to get it in order. You know, they'll usually at the next stoppage, they'll ask the coach to get his bench or to get his sidelines in order. And I'll either walk across the field or I'll call on my cell phone.
Rick,
You know, I
I've
think-
never, as a referee and as a coach, I've never seen a coach sent because I had to send a parent.
I would definitely send both, but I'm not a referee. But no, I think I would send both.
I feel like you're punishing the team by sending the coach off because of a parent's misconduct. I mean, as coaches, we can only do so much to help parents not act a fool. And I feel like that's intimidating to a team because they have a coach that's volunteering to help them, and then some parent gets out of control and the team gets punished because of the parent.
Well, I think Rick had it right the first time, and that is when you have your first meeting with your parents. I always tell my parents, even the parents that are with me every season, hear the same meeting, but I set it right out in front of them and tell them, you cannot speak to the ref and you cannot, be going crazy out there. I want you to cheer your child and the team on. That's your job right now. And if you lay down that expectation, you'll find that it's a lot easier than you think.
So here's something for you. Really, at the end of the day, this is at the referee's discretion, okay? So the referee's not in any position to send a parent off, okay? The referee's in a position to dismiss a coach. So you as parents, we as parents have a responsibility to behave so that we don't get our coach sent off, right? And this is really a FIFA issue, not a Broken Arrow Soccer Club issue, but we're just here to make sure you're aware of what the laws are and how they could impact you if you have a parent get crazy.
So this is something new, okay? Because I've never seen, and I'm a ref, I've never tossed a coach because I tossed a parent.
Okay, well, let's just agree then we're going to behave on the sidelines.
Well, that's fine, but we both know that doesn't always happen.
Okay, so yeah, if a referee dismisses you as a coach, it's in your best interest to leave.
No, I understand that, but the referee can't dismiss me he can dismiss me if I can't make that parent leave. Yes, he can.
Okay, there you
Right,
go.
and that maybe I didn't word it as properly as I could have, David, but that's what I'm saying.
I just want to make sure there's not something new out there, and it doesn't seem like there is.
So, and that you're exactly right, David. That's what I'm saying. So dude, just have a frank meeting, at the first team meeting. It might last 15 minutes, it might last a half hour, however long you choose to last, but don't, I understand that we're putting the pressure on the coach. I understand that. It's got to be taken care of. And, I can't go to every team and meet with them, but I have gone to teams and meet with them after, we've got some complaints of referee abuse. So I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, send me an email at coach@basoccer.com and I'll get a hold of you. We can have a phone conversation. But we are responsible for our sidelines, and it is intimidating. At U6, we're on the same side. You separate as you get a little bit older, for sure. Just tell the team your expectations. Tell the team your expectations, and any conversation after that will be much easier.
I'm clear. We're good.
All right. So I apologize. I'm going to try to speed this up just a little bit. for problems with referees, please contact Randy Hubbard. It'll be much better than putting your arm around a referee. We get this stuff all the time. You know, the coach came up to me, put his arm around me after the game. We don't need to touch him. You know, if I seen a man putting his arm around my 13-year-old daughter, I would not be happy. You know, these are humans. They're people's kids. You know, we need to treat them like young kids. You know, they're referees. You know, they did take a position, but we don't need to touch them. You know, I wouldn't walk up to my coworker and put my arm around him. It's just incredible, the stories we're hearing. We're just trying to rein it in, and we're trying to set the tone from the board and to the membership, you know, that you guys elected us to do this job. Send us an email. Randy is the BASC interim referee, and I'm the head coach. Send us an email and we'll help you. A lot of you guys have my phone number. Give me a call. I'm out there on a lot of Saturdays. I don't spend a lot of Sundays out there unless my teams have games, but I'm out there a lot. You guys will see me. Some of you guys know me. I'd like to meet all of you. Don't, you know, this is the same thing like I heard Matt Yeager say, we do this every year, and this, you know, we got to keep control of it. We don't have enough referees, and we're going to lose more if we don't treat them with the respect they deserve. Heightened situations, send a parent to the ref shack, which is over by the, it's part of the tournament headquarters. It's across from the concession stand on the east side of the complex. Calls won't be changed. When you bring somebody out or the cart comes out, you know, they're not going to change calls or change the outcome of the game. It's just going to make them aware. And, you know, maybe they put somebody on that referee's game to watch and mentor them. You know, maybe you got it wrong. And I'm going to say that out loud because I've got it wrong before. And it's a hard pill to swallow. But, you know, looking back, my perception was maybe not what actually happened, but and that's the double edge. And I kind of feel the tension in the room from some of the chat, but it's you know, don't make it bigger than it is. Let's just treat these guys well.
So Rick, there's a question. Peyton Heineman wants you to say again that you were once wrong.
Oh, Peyton.
I'll motion second
There's an
that motion.
online referee evaluation. It's on the coach's corner. You can find that, and you can do it online. You don't even have to take time out of your day to go over to the ref shack. If you go over the ref shack, don't enter it. Knock on the door and let somebody come out and greet you and work with you outside. We don't want too many people in the ref shack for multiple reasons. Use the online evaluation form. It's a great resource. Hey, and they'll accept positive feedback too. You know, we got a lot of great young referees that we're building up that's going to do the club, you know, just a really, really good job. Matt Hahn coaches a couple teams. Jason coaches a couple teams. Kevin Lemaster coaches a team. Ben Newby coaches a few teams. We're all out there. Get a hold of somebody. You know, let us know, man. We're here to serve you, and we want to do a good job for our club. Let us know when you guys have issues. We want to look into it and make sure we're building this club positive. So this brings us up to the next. Let me let some people in here. I apologize. Due to shortage of referees, 6, 7, and 8s, you might not have a referee. So buy a whistle, pack it in your coach's bag. I would rep the first half, you'd rep the second half. I would have a parent do it. I wouldn't do it. And, you know, if you want to do it, whatever, but don't coach your kids from the field. You scare the other team. So just have a parent do it. If I'm reffing, then your team's keeping time. In the second half, my team will keep time and your team will ref. So we'll swap the duties. It's not a big deal. That's how the club used to run. We didn't have coaches, our refs at 6, 7, and 8. We did it ourselves as coaches. So there you go. You might not have a ref. Don't worry about it. Start your game on time. And you pretty much call out of bounds. You know, you might see a handball here or there, but it's pretty simple. U9 and 10, you guys might have a center referee only, and we're working hard to get referees. If you know a kid or a young adult or an old adult that might be interested in refereeing, get them to our website and get them with Randy, and let's see if we can get them signed up to referee. Referee does not show up, the coaches will be responsible for being the referees, and that's at 6, 7, and 8. 9 and 10 is at least going to have a center referee. You play 7v7. If he misses the offsides or she misses the offsides, try not to worry about it. Try not to worry about it.
So a further word on referees. You know, the COVID-19 situation has impacted all of us in lots of ways, and it's really, I think, causing us some trouble on the referee side as well. So if you know anybody, U13 and older, who would like to be a referee, send them Randy's way. And but also, I think we're faced with the very real prospect of being in a situation for the first time in a long time where we may not have enough referees, especially for these smaller matches. So I think we'll know more, you know, in the next 4 to 6 weeks. We're going to work hard to shore that up, but we may be looking at the situation for the first time, again, as I said, in a long time, that there may be matches, these younger 4v4 matches, where we just don't have referees. And that's a lot of it has to do with the pandemic. Some of it is platform related, but you know, this has been an unprecedented 10 or 11 months, and it continues to manifest itself in other ways. So we just, you know, if you know someone who wants to be a part, send them our way. And if you find yourself at a 4v4 match with no referee, well, kick it off anyway, and understand that it's just, again, it's an unprecedented time in terms of, you know, getting these young men and women, and sometimes, you know, grown men and women, to get involved and do this. So thank you.
Appreciate it, Jason. So that covers our referees. They've been working hard. They've always worked hard, and I'm just going to take a second to talk about the loss of Bill Harn this winter, and he's a friend of all of us here at the club. He, you know, worked really, really, really hard for us. Put in a lot of time, a lot of volunteer hours he gave us. Going to be missed dearly. Is missed dearly. His family is in our thought and prayers, and he's in a good place for sure. But I just want to mention that while we're talking about referees, it was on my heart. So there you go. Need some referees. Practice field safety. At first practice, have the parents sign the medical releases printed from your Got Sport account. Exit and entry of the practice locations. Do it at the right speed. You know, it's I have a private place and I have a gravel parking lot, and every season I have to get on to somebody about spinning their tires in the gravel. I don't pay for the gravel. You know, they don't pay for the gravel. The guy that lets me use his place pays for the gravel. So it's, you know, it's just not good. If your goal backs up to the inch of your way, be careful. The kids are going to be chasing balls. They're going to be running across the road. So be careful. You know, be mindful of that as a coach. You know, talk to your parents. You know, just keep these kids safe. You know, talk to the kids before. You know, maybe sit some cones out and tell them not to cross the cones. It's just we got some places that aren't ideal. They're all safe, but they're just not ideal at a couple locations, but they're fine. And if you drive sensibly, we'll be good. No parking within 15 feet of the sidelines at any practice field. Don't drive across the field. Matt and his son spend some time out there fixing these fields. We can't fix every little thing. If the coaches could help us, you know, have a dad work on your field, have a mom work on your field, have somebody from your team help you with your nets. It's very hard for us to cover the 65 acres that we take care of with 1 or 2 people. So if you can help us with those practice fields, taking care of them, it's much appreciated. If it's too much to take care of, get a hold of Matt through email, and he'll if you have not confirmed your practice field, request one quickly. You do it online, vasoccer.club, facilities, practice field. Need a practice field, and it will it'll direct you to Matt, and Matt will assign you a field. Private field practice, if they got they got a form they want you to fill out, it's on Coach's Corner. Just fill it, get it turned in to, I'm going to say info@basoccer.club. Let's get it to Barbara and she'll get it filed. Don't penalize players for being late. Many parents have practice across town and they're trying to get their kids around. You'll learn who's going to be late and just try to plan accordingly. No practice at church fields on Sunday or Wednesday. Help us abide by that. We work hard for the club obtaining these fields, and we need to honor their request. If you go to church there, we still ask that you don't use them on Wednesday or Sunday. It's been requested by all the churches. We ask that you don't use the practice fields on those days. Remember the witness rule. You can see the activities per week for the U6, U7. And they're also in your rules that can be found on Coach's Corner. So your coach pass ID required for all coaches. Have your picture, driver's license style, and you can see a picture of David Reddick there on the left. That's correct. Yeah, he looks more like this guy on the right now eating that turkey leg. I'm just kidding, David. All head and assistant coaches must have access to their virtual or printed coach ID. Coaches can access their IDs through their team account to print or view virtually. I recommend printing, and it's not because I'm an old guy in a hoodie sitting in front of a computer on a Zoom meeting. If you get to a small town that doesn't have good internet access, you're not gonna be able to pull those cards up, and you could be in trouble. I just don't want to rely on technology, and I proved that to you guys in the first 5 minutes of this slideshow. So there you go. There you go. Player passes, youth 11 through 19, you've got to have them. You have to have them. They have to be laminated. You cut them individually. There's dotted lines on them. Don't laminate the sheet. Make them individual, laminate them. I'm not reading this verbatim. It says use a snap ring. I use a 100-pound zip tie. I zip them. I put them all together in the order they are on my roster. So when the referee goes through them, he's got his roster and he's got my card, and he just flips through them, says their name.
I'll be up in just a minute.
With me. It's real smooth for him on the check-in. So I don't break them. Once the season starts, it's something that I'm very careful with, because if I lose a game card, that girl won't play. So it's going to be on me, and I don't want to put my well-being in other people's hands. So I zip time together. I can't. If I lose them, I'm losing all of them. So
Hey, Rick.
Virtual or printed, up to you.
Hey, Rick, can I pop in for just a second?
No.
Yeah, there's somebody who doesn't have their mic on mute. If you don't mind checking to make sure your mic is on mute. We're having some people having problems hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And I'm more of a team user. I have a mute all, but I can't find it on the screen. All right, so we're going to keep going. Thank you, Matt. And please try to keep your computer muted as much as you can. Coaches must have your passes at every game. You can't play without them. Individually laminated. Use a snap ring or something to secure them. And you can see the picture, the correct picture on the left. As coaches, we'll go in and we'll print them out, and inevitably I will see one of the two on the right every time. I'm like, and I have to print them again because I don't review it good enough. So they go in and change their pictures from the first time I look at them to when I print them. So only new coaches and players will have to add to their passes. Like my team's not changed, so I won't have to print my passes. That's what that's saying. 50% playing time. We play in a recreational league, and I know, some coaches are more serious about it than others, and some players are more serious about it than others. but you got to play everybody 50%. And at the younger ages, I strongly encourage that you play more than 50%. It's, you know, it's not about winning when you're 7, you know, so if you can play them all 33%, play them all 33%. You know, U15, U16, you're probably not going to do that, right? Winning becomes a little bit more important, and it's still not what we're shooting for, you know, at all costs, right? But we have to play 50%. U7, U8, sweeper keeper rules. Somebody's going to email me, somebody's going to call me that they're aggravated that we have a coach playing a sweeper keeper. I'll try to make it out to his game and ask him to pull that sweeper keeper up. When I was down there and I had a child in the goal position, the sweeper keeper, I'd set a cone up about 2/3 of the field, and I would just ask them, hey, when the ball's on the other end, play to this cone, so I didn't have to keep yelling at them. That's what I did. It's not a FIFA rule. The ref's not going to enforce it. It's a gentleman's rule. It's a gentle ladies rule. It's not enforceable. So I understand your frustration. In the spirit of the game, we ask you to not do that, get all the kids involved. But, you know, it's just hard sometimes it's hard for those kids to get up. You tell them you're playing back and they think they're playing in front of the goal. No warm up, $75 fine. Do not warm up in our penalty boxes. If you have a goalie, this applies to you. If you do not have a goalie, if you're down in 4v4, you use the whole field. Use the goal, do whatever you want. But if you have a goalie, it's a $75 fine if you warm up in the box. If you see somebody, ask them to stop. If they're, you know, aggressive about it, just keep walking. But just say, hey, you know, no warm up in the box, and you know, just keep doing your thing. Don't let them steal your joy. All right, Broken Arrow Soccer Club opens the restrooms, turns on the lights. For all games and scrimmages at the complex, they didn't used to do that. We used to have to bring $100 check or something up here and pick up the keys. And now we, as a convenience, we take care of it for the club. Plan your games during spring break. I'm sorry, plan for games during spring break and the Saturday of Easter weekend. Use your blackout dates. You know, some of you guys might not know what blackout dates. It's explained on the coach's corner. It'll give you a good description. It's when it opens up, you'll see it in your team account. If you don't want to play those weekends, you're gonna have to use 2. So if I didn't want to play the first weekend of spring break, I have to use 2. I have to use Saturday and Sunday. If I just do Saturday, I promise you they're going to schedule a game on that Sunday. I promise you that's going to happen. So if you need more clarification, hit that chat box. I'm going to keep going. 7 play weekends this spring. Plan to have games on both Saturday and Sunday each week, and possibly during the week. So, you know, you're not going to have 14 games. You're going to play either Saturday or Sunday. You're not going to play every Saturday and Sunday, but you're going to have some Sunday games so we can get these games in. Both coaches need to bring a game card. We don't recommend that you print them all at once because sometimes things change, especially at the older ages. You know, print 2 or 3 at a time and put them in your coach's notebook, and then print out the rest of them a couple weeks later. Both coaches will leave with a game card, and sometimes the referee forgets that's a new, I hate to use the word rule, but it's new. It's been like that for about 4 seasons now, 2 years, 3 years. If the home coach doesn't enter, the winning coach doesn't enter the score, the losing coach can enter the score like after 3 days or something. But anyway, each coach leaves with a game card. Keep them for a couple months. We'll cover that at the bottom slide. Home coach is responsible for the flags. The shed code is 142. 142. Jeff Wolf, if you're on here, it's 142. It has not changed, and I'm just teasing you. But make sure you put them up at the end of it. If you've ever helped pick up flags at the end of the day, man, I picked up 5 fields. Yeah, it's hard to keep my weight up when I'm doing that. It's a lot of walking, so if we could just take care of our flags, get them put back in the shed. I put that shed code in my phone, and it's underneath shed code, and it's 142. I'll get a text a couple times a season. What's the shed code? Well, I have my notifications turned off on my text, and might want to call me if you need it immediately. But it's people seem to forget that number when they're running late. Recording scores. Winning team should submit the score through Got Soccer within 4 days of the game. After the 96 hours is over, the other team may submit the score. It's detailed on the game card how to do that. Keep your game cards until December 31st, and I think that's winter season. Winter season is December 31st. Spring season is June 30th. So I got a little typo there. Any questions on that? We good? Okay. So we had a change to our reschedule policy. So I need you guys to come back over to your computer. I've seen a couple of you guys walking away. Oh, Matt Hahn, I think you walked away there for a second. I can see you guys, man. We got technology up here at Broken Arrow Soccer Club. All reschedules have to comply with the policy below, and it's changed. We had to change it. Now I'm counting on you guys reading this as I'm talking. We're having issues with the Got Sport software, and we use it for everything. We use it for scheduling games, scheduling tournaments, scheduling scrimmages. Everything out at the complex is scheduled through Got Sport. And we also use it to make sure we have our games covered with referees. So we need you to cancel 8 days before the scheduled game. And that might be a lot, but that's just where we're at right now with the technology we're using. We'll get that reduced back down. I talked to Ryan about it today, and he's working with Jessica, and Jessica's burning up Got Sports phone, trying to get their stuff straightened out. Plan accordingly. So when you get your schedule, make sure your team looks at it. And if you got 3 girls in Pride that are going to miss, which they don't miss much in the spring, they miss in the fall, you need to get that date recorded. And, if you only have 14 players, you might have to reschedule. We try not to reschedule for players missing, but if you have enough of the team in Honor Society and they have something they have to do Saturday, or they're going to, get dinged from the Honor Society, you're going to have to reschedule. So we really need you coaches to get that in front of your team and have them understand that we need 8 days notice for cancellations. So if you reschedule out of the policy, we have to pay our referees, and that's the if I'm outside the policy, I'm gonna have to pay $155 to reschedule my game, and that covers the cost that's incurred. That's not that's not anything going into your club's account. It's what we pay the referees. It's if I cancel a game inside that policy, inside the policy, those referees are planning on working. They blocked out their Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday night, whatever, not Wednesday night, Tuesday, Thursday, and they're planning on getting paid. So we go ahead and pay them, trying to keep in good with our referees, and the surrounding clubs do the same thing. That's not unique to our club. Go ahead, David.
Okay, my question is, I'm trying to type it and it's not going for some reason.
Go ahead, David. Hey, David, we're not hearing you, so I'm gonna give you about 3 more seconds.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The 8-day reschedule, if I've got 3, 4, 5 kids that have to quarantine because of COVID, so now my whole team has to quarantine, does this reschedule policy still in effect? I mean, is it still going to cost me $155 to reschedule that because half my team had to quarantine for COVID. Because it's not gone away is my only thing. It's still there and the numbers are still high.
Hey,
So
this
it's
is
a real
Ryan Egan.
possibility.
So David, in that instance, if you know half your team gets COVID or half your team gets the flu, those are the one-off kind of situations, and we're not going to I mean really punish anyone for getting sick or half their team getting sick. This is geared a lot more for like he was saying, the software, in order for us to communicate with the facility management people who unlock the doors, turn on the lights, get the referees booked. The way GOT Sport does it now, we have to do a full export, and it takes multiple hours to do it. So with that being said, we have to have that 8-day window. But to answer your question specifically, if half your team is quarantined because COVID, no, we're not going to punish you for that. Now,
Okay, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Thank you for the information. It is clear now. However, our policy stated in the fall that if 4 players or more had to quarantine, then your whole team had to quarantine. If only 1 or 2 or 3, then maybe I can still play the game. But is the policy still, if there are 4 players that have to quarantine, your whole team has to?
So we'll address the quarantine in a little bit. Jason's going to address the quarantine if you guys don't mind, because we kind of went with one voice on the quarantine, and it's been Jason, president of the club, if you guys don't mind. But keep going, Ryan. I did not mean to interrupt, but I would like to reserve COVID for Jason Dobbins.
Okay, I'll wait. We're good. Thank you.
No, that I was going to defer to Jason anyway. So.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to take the floor back, and thank you, David, for your comments, and thank you, Ryan, for stepping in there. I appreciate it, man, and appreciate what you do for the club with your games commission position and what you and Jessica do for us. That goes unseen. It's incredible what we do to drop a ball on a soccer field. So just take a picture of this, and this is going to be up on the Coach's Corner. You guys will have this slideshow. I pray the recording's going so you guys can hear my voice. This is just really, I'm sure, enjoyable. I know it is because I hear myself. So just know that we need 8 weeks. If you want to plan a scrimmage, I said 8 weeks, but I meant 8 days. 8 weeks would be a little bit much. When the season be over, and we'd be wondering why we didn't get a reschedule. If you want to schedule a scrimmage, it's 8 days. They need 8 days notice to get it through the system. So if you're a 7v7 team, there'll be a few new 7v7. You might look at scrimmaging or planning a scrimmage right now. I'm sure, if you call me, I'll get you some coach contacts that might want to scrimmage, and we'll get, but you need to reserve your field now. Well, now being relative, right? Here in the next couple of days, as you get your head around your season, and maybe you guys could go out and romp around on the build out lines, and kind of get your team familiarized. There's a word for 7v7. And that's just an idea. If you don't want to scrimmage, don't scrimmage. I'm just throwing that out there that we got to put our request in early. There's
Rick,
cost.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Hello. So I submitted my field request like maybe Thursday. I haven't received anything yet. So how are we gonna see that on the dashboard, or are we gonna receive an email?
Okay.
I'll send you.
Hey, who am I talking to? Who's talking? Who had the floor real quick? Can you tell us?
Oh, Daniel Meneses. The team name is U6 Meneses, I believe.
So So if I understood right, you put in a request for a scrimmage last Thursday and haven't heard back from the club. One thing we have
Yeah, I haven't.
payment, if let's say it rained out, the club was closed, you know, the committee closed the fields, and you'll get, you know, a credit. You know, they're not going to keep your money if you didn't get to use the field, but we should be getting back. And Ryan, I don't know if you want to address that. But we should be getting back with you, but you do need to pay when you put in the request, not after it's granted.
So Neil, was that about your normal practice location or about a scrimmage request you put in?
Well, I'm talking about the practice. I didn't know I had to pay for the practice.
No, you don't have to pay for practice fields. I think that's what I'm trying to confirm. You're talking about the, you requested a practice field from practice field at basoccer.club and you're waiting to receive word. Is that correct?
They told me to select the first option, second, third one, and then the days we're gonna have practice. You know, I submit that, but I haven't received anything yet.
Yeah, I think that's forthcoming, Daniil, and I think there was miscommunication on the earlier answer. There's no fee for that. If you're just asking for a practice field location, Matt, our practice field coordinator, will be in touch with you as soon as those are finalized.
Oh, all right. Okay.
So Jason, I just want to clarify real quick. That is practice for the practice fields. That is not special training sessions at Indian Springs, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's just the practice.
Okay. Yeah. So I do just want to hit on the rescheduling policy. That does include special training sessions at Indian Springs as well. If you're rescheduling, it does need to be 8 days in advance.
All right. Thank you.
Daniil, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for that information.
Hey,
Really
welcome to the club. Let us know, you know, if you don't get that practice field, let us know. And I'm sure Matt Yeager is going to look into his records to see if he sees you. He's on the call as well. So we'll get that ironed out.
So
right.
Just while we're talking about it, Danielle, I do have you listed as a practice field, wanting practice fields. I wait until all of the returning coaches have been assigned, and then all the new coaches are assigned the fields right after that. So I should be able to finish that up tonight. In fact, I've pretty much finished it up tonight, and I'll start working on new coaches or new teams beginning tomorrow. So here shortly, in the next few days, you should have a confirmation come to your email.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Great question. Sorry about the confusion. I got switched over to scrimmages at Indian Springs. I didn't realize we were asking a question on the practice fields. So hopefully I didn't confuse anybody else. All right. So there's new coach training. It's mandatory for all new coaches, February 6th, 8 to noon. Plan on having it. We might modify it a little bit, but it will start at 8 and it's going to be cold. So I'm trying to get a little bit closer to the weekend. It's going to be cold. I mean, the stuff's headed from the Arctic. It's going to get here, but I'm just trying to see, you know, how cold is cold. It's going to be on Indian Springs fields 10 and 12, but we will start at the tournament headquarters out at the complex. To register, go to BA Soccer, Recreational Coaches, Coaching Education, and there'll be a little form for you to fill out just so we can know what kind of numbers we're going to be expecting. And if you're old coach and just want to hear, you know, Garen will be there, and I need to thank Garen and Peyton and Jason Dobbins. My brain just locked up, for helping me out this Saturday. So you're going to see some sessions run, hopefully. If not, you know, we'll see what we're going to do. But do plan on having it. And yes, we might have to modify it a little bit. Check the website. If something does happen and, you know, the roads are real slick or something, please check the website. And that's how I'll cancel, is through the website. If for some reason you can't get registered for it, please come anyway. You know, I might just have to find another chair or something. I'm going to wear a mask, and we could probably open up the floor and debate about masks for the next 2 hours. I'm sure that would be enjoyable. But I'm going to wear a mask, and I would appreciate it if everybody did. Just out of precaution, we're going to be in a close quarters, and I'm making the best of what I have. I was expecting to be outside underneath the pavilion, but I wasn't expecting it to be in the 20s or maybe low 30s. So cost is free. Grassroots licensing, replace the E and the F. And if you're new to soccer, that doesn't mean anything to you, but anyway, they upgraded or maybe revamped would be a better word, how they want you to train the kids. It's U.S. Soccer. They spent millions of dollars coming up with this. It's good courses. Maybe it fits your coaching style, maybe it doesn't, but I use it. For about 90% of my practices, I'll use their method. You can do that. You do a free online introductory. You can do the 4v4 online at your convenience. The 7v7 is online if you want to take it, but we would say do the 4v4 online and do the 7v7 in person is what I would recommend. I would do the 11v11 in person. I wouldn't do it online. The National D course, for the older coaches that are, taking it pretty serious, you can get your National D license through U.S. Soccer. It's put on by OSA, and it's good stuff, man. You get to you learn a lot watching other people do stuff, and then you're participating. It's not anything that you need to be stressed out about. It's a good, safe environment.
Hey, we had a question about if you contact an email, if they reached out to you via email, said they're going to be at new coach training, they still need to register.
Who said that?
No.
No, I think you're fine. I think you're fine if you reached out to me or Peyton, and I think we're fine. Don't worry about it. Like I said, we're going to be in some tight quarters. It's just going to help me get the chairs out, but it's nothing I'm going to be stressed out about. Is that good? U6 coaches, pick up your shirts February 6th at the new coaches training. So if you're coming out to get a shirt, have patience with me unless you get there about 7:30, 7:45. I'll be there sitting up. If you wanted to come that early on Saturday, I can get you the shirts. Only new U6 players get your shirts. If you don't have your roster yet, it's going to be hard to get your shirts. Don't worry about that. We'll make another date if we need to, and we would love to give you your shirt at the field day. We'd love to give you your shirts at the field day the next weekend. Returning U6 players will use their same shirt from last season. It's one size fits most, so it's not like you're going to get the next size bigger or whatever. It's one size fits most. Order your uniforms quick. Tiger Den sitting right next door to here, the soccer office on Main Street. They'll create you a team account, and they take a lot of the money collection out of it. It's pretty seamless. I'm going to scroll slides. Take a picture of this. This is your uniform fitting days. Call them, pick out your uniform. They'll create you a file, and they'll get you set up, and they'll handle a lot of your legwork for you. As those players come in, they'll get it done. All right, the glue that holds this place together is giving me some information. We know that's the Monday, February 8th is tight, and man, hats off to Ben Newby and David Reddick could testify to that. We're all here in the same room, but I'm not going to unmute him right now. And I'm just kidding, Dave. They did really good job putting our teams together. We had you guys step up really fast and take the teams to coaching. On the coaching side, but there's also Max Soccer Shack and Ollie over at my brain just locked up. Ollie Soccer USA. they can all help you out. So be thinking about your uniforms and try to get them ordered. I guess what I would say is be ready on your uniforms before you meet with your team. That way you could just send them on their way. It's will help speed up the process. Man, I've seen Sue Kennis logging in. I didn't see Adam. So Broken Arrow provides goalkeeper training Tuesday nights 6 to 7 for U9 to U12, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. U13 to U19. We really want you guys to use this, and it's I've heard really good stuff, feedback on it. I've not got out there a lot the last 2 seasons, but I talked to Adam, often, probably more often than he wants to talk to me, but he's got a great program. If they go every night, Adam starts week 1 and finishes at about week 10, however many sessions he has. He builds through the season. So if they can make every one, they're going to learn a lot from the beginning of the season to the end for free. Not every coach out there is as good as me and Jason. And Jason really has a great keeper program. I'm just teasing Jason. But, sometimes we forget about our keepers, and there's some fundamentals that if they just learn those fundamentals, they're safer, and they're just a lot more effective back there. So use Adam, please. Great asset to our club. Really pleased with what he's doing with our keepers. Adam, are you on here? All right.
I am. My dog is just barking at everything that walks by.
It's probably my beautiful voice. Adam, why don't you say a few words to the coaches? You got about 45 seconds.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You have 40 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. Why don't you take a minute or so and just talk to the coaches about your program?
We work with goalkeepers, so any size, any shape, any age, so bring grandpa out with your 6-year-olds. We have fun, my staff and I try to be the best part of their day, so when they come out, we try to help them be better people and better goalkeepers. We're real patient, we're real positive, and we're super passionate about what we do, and we try to pass that on to the goalkeepers. So, my number one job is to sell the position to these kids, and then once we sell it to them, we give them the tools that they need for Saturday.
Hey, thanks a lot, Adam. And patient and positive is really great attributes of a coach, man, and we really appreciate what you do for us out there.
Happy to be here.
February 9th, Tuesday, February 9th, it's going to start, and that's on our website. So, our membership has that, not just the coaches. Scrimmages, special training sessions available to all BASC teams. You must have a uniformed licensed referee to officiate the game. I usually run one center to kind of cut the cost. I don't worry about offsides. If I was practicing on an offsides trap, which I don't do that, but anyway, I would have 3 referees. Don't expect a center to catch every offsides, and it's not about that. So if you're practicing something like that, you might want 3 referees. So I'm going to keep going. You pay them at the field. Remember earlier we said you pay for your field when you reserve it, and then you pay the referees at the field. Okay, so make sure you have cash on you. The training must be ran by a licensed coach or training when you're using Indian Springs. And we put that verbiage in there for a reason, but you could be a grassroots 4v4 online coach and you're a licensed coach. So don't think you have to, Google licensed coaches in the Tulsa area and have somebody come out. It's but we do want somebody that has a little knowledge to use the fields and to have a great training session. I'm going to let you guys read the notes there. You guys see how you get to recreational scrimmage and special training sessions. We need 8 days notice, and that's a lot. And we're just going to have to, plan our day, plan our weeks, plan our season, so if you think you need one, schedule it now. And now being relative, I really mean soon. I need to quit saying now. Sunday fun day pickup games. It's for coaches and referees, managers, come out and kick the ball around with us. When I was younger, it was really, really competitive and maybe a little bit heated at times. We're not so much that, but, Steve Mazinski, you come out there, there's probably Matt Hahn will guard you or something. I don't know. I mean, it's there if you want it, but it's really a good atmosphere. It's a good atmosphere. It's a time to meet other coaches, and it's a time to meet other coaches and get to know them. Maybe in your age group, maybe not, but it's fun, man. It's for you guys. There'll be a referee. We'll play according to the numbers we have. If we have 22, 23 there, we'll go to 11v11 field. If we have 30, we'll go to 11v11 field. If we have 9, we'll go to a 6v6 field, and we'll just sub in and out. It's been fun. It's a good time. It's a time to, like I said, just have fun, kick the ball around, and share some time together. We'll fellowship. So our spring tournaments, and I'm trying to get sped up a little bit. May 7th through the 9th. This is a great way to expand your season to 3 more games. Please sign your team up for it. Talk about it at the beginning of the season at your team meeting. Try to get some buy-in. Be positive. We really work hard for these tournaments and try to grow them. And the more teams we have from Broken Arrow in there, the more teams we'll have from out of town. It's just a proven concept that we've noticed over the years. It'll be at Indian Springs. It's a great way to get a few more games and get some new competition in. We hope you guys will look at signing up for it. The earlier you sign up for it, the better. It lets other teams know that they're going to have some competition in there, and the earlier you sign up, the more it helps us get other teams in it. It's a great tournament. Registration deadline Sunday, April 11th. They're not going to extend the deadlines, and it goes again to it's a lot of time to get into Got Soccer and get stuff built out. Got Sport. Kickstart program. Please read through the slide. It's a great program. I used to look at it like, why do we do that? And I'm being honest. Steve and Garen are on here, and if you want a couple of minutes here, I'll be quiet. But I started going over there and watching these guys, and man, these kids are having a blast with their parents or their older sibling, but they have an adult or an older child with them. It's not like a 3-year-old with a 5-year-old. It's not like that. It's just great bonding. It's great motor skills for the younger kids. It's an hour that they're outside having a good time. But Steve, are you on? Garen, I know you're on. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Steve.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, Garen.
Okay,
It's okay.
it's all about the kids running around and doing stuff. Kids are kinetic learners at that age, so we do stuff that they're running around. Their parents with them all the time. If there's a meltdown of a kid or whatever, they can deal with it while the rest of us are continuing on. Most of what I coach is the parents, and the activities we do are just fun, and that's the whole point of it. So when everybody's having fun, they want to come out and participate, and they want to keep playing.
All right. And Steve helps down there with the younger kids. It's a great program. If you know anybody with younger kids looking for some times to get outdoors, you see the times there, and it's also on the website. Registration for the club closes Friday, February 5th. Kickstart will go later than that. There's no player shuffling, no uniforms that have already been ordered. There's some reasons we have to shut down registration, but Kickstart, they can sign up at any time. So you guys see the new quick links here. Take a picture of it. We're getting ready to launch that BA Soccer Club. We're running both websites right now, but in a little bit, I don't know the exact kill it date, but we're going to lose the BASOCK.com. I think it is. I don't know. It's in my browser. I just type in BA and it comes up. So I apologize for that, but we will be going BASoccer.club. All this information.
Why is there a need to change the website? It's just so dumb.
I walked on you. Go ahead.
I don't think that was intentional, Rick. I think somebody's got their mic unmuted. Okay.
I apologize. Technology. I can't wait until we get back to in person. All right. So that's it on that. The executive board and staff, I threw the slide in here just to kind of let you know, if you have an issue with like the soccer fields out at Indian Springs, Kevin Lemaster, the second vice president, takes care of that. Matt Yeager, you can reach us all through the website underneath club info. Ryan Egan, you heard his voice earlier. Ben Newby, the registrar, he might be on, but he had some stuff he had to do tonight. But anyway, you can get all of us through here. You want to know where the club money's going, Marshall would be glad to answer those questions for you. So I guess what I'm saying is kind of, if you'll go to the area of your question, we'll be able to answer it faster. A lot of stuff goes to info, which is great, and we want you to keep using that. But if it's a head coach or a coach email, maybe you copy info on it and send it to coach at BASoccer.club. And that's why I threw this slide in there. Kind of go to where you need. And we're about done, but I want Jason to take the screen for a second and kind of go over how we're going to handle COVID. And it's always good to hear from the club president. You guys can read the parting quotes. Let us know if you need any help. Remember, the Coach's Corner is a great resource. If you're a new coach, I would like you to hang in there just a little bit after Jason gets done, but Jason's going to take the floor.
Thanks, Rick. So this won't take very long at all, folks. Obviously in the fall, it was our first to go at, mitigating and dealing with the restrictions and the health concerns that came along with, COVID-19. And I won't belabor the point that it's been disruptive to everybody. So this is how we handle it in the fall, and we're going to continue to handle it this way in the spring. I weekly reach out to the Tulsa Health Department and get their latest recommendation. Obviously, pay attention to CDC guidelines, talk to peer clubs in the area to try to get a feel for what is the most reasonable and appropriate response our club should have in terms of when to quarantine, guidelines for training, guidelines for games, and things like that. So that will continue to be the way forward. If you have a player, well, we'll just leave it. If you have any questions that you believe may if you're made aware of a contact or exposure that you need guidance, how to handle it. Should my entire team quarantine? Just this player, how do I handle it? I want you to email me at president@basoccer.club. And that way I'm the single point of contact for the suggested responses. And then the communication from the club is consistent, and I alone am responsible for what comes out of the club in terms of our response. We started the fall with some written guidance. The problem was the guidance changed so quickly we couldn't keep our website updated quickly enough. So we made the decision to handle the communication on a case-by-case basis with consistent and appropriate information at what's current at that time, that week. What's current one week may not be current the next week in terms of CDC and the health department guidance. So that's how we're going to handle COVID. If you have any questions about what to do because you've been made aware of an exposure, email me. Questions? Good. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. This COVID is wearing us all out. And when I remember when we returned last summer, I had parents coming up to me talking about, I got a 15, 16, 17-year-old team, how this was affecting them, and they were glad to get back into soccer. And at practice, I'm constantly telling them, give me 6 feet, spread out, separate, you can talk from 6 feet apart. And, we're talking about it. We're not scared of it. We're not worried about it, but we are aware of it. All right. I got 2 hands raised. Alyssa, right? Can you go ahead, Alyssa, take the floor?
Yeah, my bad. That was an accident. Look, I'm struggling. My bad.
All right. There was another hand raised. Was it an accident? We don't see anything, and I appreciate that. I just didn't want to miss any questions. David I's phone is raised. Go ahead, David. I'll make y'all run laps, man. Do some burpees or something. All right. I'm going to keep going. Hey, real quick, I want to thank Garen, Peyton, Matt Hahn. They helped me find coaches. Peyton and Matt did. Garen's helped me out with the training. We also want to talk about, just for a second, we're fixing to launch some stuff about Academy Soccer. We're expanding some stuff, some menu, some different. My brain just went blank. Different opportunities for our club. There'll be more information coming, but I just kind of want to put it in front of you guys tonight. But we don't have everything pounded out, but I just would rather you guys hear it here. It's all positive. It's good stuff. And I want to thank Jennifer Henley, Matt Yeager, and Ben Newby for helping me with that. And man, I always have to thank a big thanks to Barbara and Jessica for here in the office for helping me get the slides together. And my wife says I don't know punctuation, but that just takes too much time. I got a hand raised. Go ahead.
I just want to let you guys all know, remember, we're volunteer driven. Okay, this is not a business that we write a check to in order to get a service. We're all volunteers to make this happen. If you see something you want to see different, if you see a way to improve, if you see something that needs to get done, man, reach out. We will put you in charge of that particular initiative. So if you email me and say, hey, why didn't this happen this way? I will graciously offer to put you in charge of fixing that thing and making it better. So if you see something you want to improve upon, want to see things done differently, man, reach out and we'll try to get you plugged in and involved. This is how we make it go. All of us are volunteers. All of us were in a coaches meeting at one time and heard somebody else make this same request. So if you see something you'd like to see changed or improved, please reach out. We'll see what we can do to get you plugged in and make that happen. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, it's great to have ideas. I've seen some excellent emails. We need some horsepower to push some of this stuff through. Our general membership meeting's coming up this week. That's wrong. When is it? When's our general? First Thursday in March. I apologize. Our board meetings this week, and my days are starting to run together. But man, we'd love to see some of you guys out there. We'd love to see all you guys out here to participate in the club and how we get to where we're at. So with that, if there's nothing else, Kevin, you got anything? Barbara, did I nail most of it? Jason? Yep. All right. So if you're if you don't want to sit through the new coach's presentation, ma'am, thank you so much for giving up your time this evening. I'm sorry I went a little bit over. It's a lot of information.
Ask Mike Shaw if he'd like to say something.
Mike Shaw, would you like to say something? Would you like the floor?
To talk about Tyson?
Mike Shaw, are you still on?
I put him on the spot. He sent some via chat. He wanted to let us know about an update for one of his players, Tyson Edwards, who's been struggling with a health issue. So, Mike, if you want to say something, go ahead. Otherwise, I will. I'll just type Mike issues. Okay, so he wants me to just communicate to the rest of you guys. If you haven't seen it in chat, that is one of his players, Tyson. He's close to the end of his his chemotherapy and bone marrow transplants for his lung cancer. He's been in Houston since mid-September, and he hopes to return home later this month. I know some of you are aware of that and have been, you know, the family and you know the situation. And Mike just wanted to make sure that we as an organization were aware and sharing it with the rest of us. So, Mike, thanks for taking care of him. He hopes to get back on the season this spring. And Mike and his team have dealt with setbacks and issues that none of us, you know, probably we don't all know about, and none of us would want to have to deal with ourselves. So I just, Mike, on behalf of, you know, a whole lot of us, thank you for being there for those young men and seeing them through some of these tough times. And it's something that it's worthwhile and will pay dividends in their lives. The fact that you're pouring into them, investing in them. So I just want to say thank you.
I'd like to echo that, Mike. You're doing a great job. And I know it's hard seeing young people, I'm going to use the word suffer, but they're conquering it and they're fighting through this stuff. It's Mike's team's got a pretty interesting story. It's insane, some of the stuff that team has been through in itself. And we don't hear of all the story of all the teams, but this team is definitely been a battle, and Mike's done a great job keeping those boys together. So with that, and Mike, anytime you want the floor, shoot me a text and we'll give it to you, because we would like to hear some of that. You know, these other coaches, it is bigger than a ball on a grass field with two white things at the end of the field. And Mike's team has experienced that, and they definitely got it right, in my opinion. So with that, we will end this first part of the coaches meeting, and I promise I will go through the second part really quick as we transition into it. Ollie, the coach does not make a great player. The player makes a great player. And I do that no justice with his accent. But what he's saying is, you know, if a coach can make a great player, there'd be more than one Neymar. There's not more than one Neymar. So that's an interesting perspective on coaching. You know, we just need to help them love the game and give them a good environment to grow in. Thank you guys for coaching at Broken Arrow Soccer Club. The can't give enough thanks. I hope you guys understand our gratitude for coming on and helping us build this club into what it is. Coaches training is February 6th, 8 to noon. Cost is free. It's fields 10 and 12, but we will start at the tournament headquarters inside, and we will stay in there for a while. There's a TV in there. I might have some slides or something. It'd be more video. I'm not going to sit here and talk. Garen is going to run through some team management, and Peyton had a 4v4 session planned, and Jason has a 7v7 session planned, and we're going to figure that out Friday, how we're going to go forward. But we will not cancel this meeting unless the roads are hazardous. So watch the website. All right, get a notebook, stay organized. Medical releases, they're sheets that you guys filled out for your kids when you signed up. Have contact numbers, have your player passes for the older age groups, U11 and above. Get a complex map, print it off and put it in your book. Know your age group rules. It's all up there on Coach's Corner. All that's up there. That sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Just pick one out, you know, one or two out every night and knock it out. Don't ask your team what time they want to practice. Don't ask them what day. There'll be a point where you end up hating yourself. You're just not going to make people happy. Do not, you chose to well, some of you got your arms twisted to coach a team, and we appreciate you. This is your time that you're taking away from your family and your career. So, you know, you have the right to name it. Contact your players after the registrar allows it. And Ben's going to shoot me. If you're still on here, we do not want you to clone or mess with your roster. Please just look at it. If you have issues, call me at 918-695-9812. And there's so many of you already have my phone number. Do not mess with your roster. Just view it. Don't clone it. Don't bring coaches on it. Don't change your name. All that should be locked out, but we don't have the permission built into it yet. I can't explain to you. We all love what we're doing for the club, but we don't want to do it twice. And that's what's going to happen if you guys start experimenting with got sports. So Ben's going to kill me for not saying that in the general meeting. So get a notebook, plan your practice time. Let's do all this now. You know, you guys should have it into Matt. If you don't, get it into Matt, and you can do that through the practice field request off their website. First practice, you know, give them your phone number, how you're going to stay in contact with your team. There's Team Snap. There's, you know, Group Me. There's all kinds of apps that you can communicate to. You choose what you want to use, and then give it to your team. Don't forget about the witness rule that we covered earlier. We don't want to be alone with the kids. That's for your protection. One parent's always staying with me. My kids are starting to drive now, so I have to have that conversation again with the team. And now that they're driving, that you know, it could possibly be 2 players there, but you know, I'm going to be in my truck, and I'm usually talking to my wife on the phone while we're waiting for them to get their cleats off or whatever they're doing to get gone. Goalkeeper training. If you're in a you know, a 7v7 league or above, you'll have a keeper. You know, get your keepers involved in that goalkeeper training. Get your players' numbers updated in the Got Sport. There's helps in Got Sport down on the lower right corner. You can enter, how do I enter player numbers? And it will pop up a help screen that will help you get through there. Uniform fitting and order information. Get that set up now. Do not wait until your season starts. You're going to be incredibly busy. You're going to be shifting your schedules around. You're going to be trying to get your, you know, everything done. Do it now while you have time. You know, do it Saturday after the meeting. Do it soon. Don't wait. Get it done now so you're not overwhelmed. Get the I wouldn't wait for your team to talk about uniforms. I would have it done. You know, spend a modest amount. You know, you probably don't need a $150 uniform for a 7v7 team. You know, they're not going to wear that uniform very long. They're going to outgrow it. So just, you know, be reasonable and just get it done. But if you ask, you're going to get all kinds of answers. So be careful what you ask. Get your medical releases signed, and I think they're actually signed in Got Sport now by the parents, but if they're not, have them sign it and keep them with you all the time. I've had a couple of injuries, but I was fortunate enough that the parents were there. I had a broke arm. You know, kids have buckle fractures in their lower arm. It's common, so have those medical releases in case you need them. You know, in case something happens. Call the ambulance twice that come out. It's hopefully nobody from OSA Risk Management's listening, but no, I'm just kidding. Be prepared. I keep a magazine in my coach's bag. It's in case somebody does break their arm, I can wrap that magazine around their arm with gauze and kind of secure it back to their torso. Season start dates, May 6th. March 6th, and you'll get your rosters probably next week. The rosters will be released, so be ready for this. You know, record your tournament date for this, and this is all for your first practice. You know, take a screenshot of this. This is the information that you need to get your team your first practice so they can plan accordingly. Pick and order the uniforms, get your roster numbers or jerseys on your roster, browse the coaches corner.
Have you let everybody, does everybody else know they can drop that you've moved on to the coaches?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Jason asked me if I let everybody know that I moved on to new coaches, and I think I did, and I want everybody to stay on. When I get home, the first thing I will do is tell my wife I may not be Facebook famous, but I am Zoom famous. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. But no, we are talking to new coaches, and it's a good review for the coaches that are seasoned. Browse the BASC Coaches Corner. There's so much information up there. You know, tomorrow when you're just kind of winding down, look at it. You know, if you're having lunch or whatever, just kind of go through that Coaches Corner and look at all the information's up there. You need to know how to reschedule a game. You know, there's a form up there to help you do that. It's there's a lot of information. Set your blackout dates. It's up there on the Coaches Corner. You can't do it until your official roster is released. Make sure you have good contact information for parents. It's important to be able to communicate quick. You know, if you get rained out, the club closes the fields at the last second, which that might happen. You know, it rains and I have a group that I can just hit and it goes out to my team. I don't have to get stressed out about it. I hate wasting people's time. And that's, you know, it's very important to me. So I hope you guys take me up on this, get organized. I had a hand raised. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Hi, Rick. I have about the t-shirts. You say for U6, you guys provide the t-shirt. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, that is correct. So U6 and below, and I apologize. I like it better when I used to do this 2 nights in a row because my second night I just nailed it. So U6 new players, U6 will get a white t-shirt and an orange t-shirt, and it will say Broken Arrow Soccer Club on it, and that is their game uniform. When you're home, you wear light, which would be white, and when you're away, you wear orange. So the club does provide that for the U6s, right?
No, the shorts. That's I guess at that age doesn't matter. The shorts.
No shorts, no socks. So what we did with our little kids,
They wear shorts and socks, but yeah, we don't give them shorts.
So we do not provide short and socks, but we do request that they're wore. You know, this is a city park. But so we just had our girls wear black shorts, and then we got them some crazy socks. So because their heads are down at that age, and you know, so they knew not to take the ball from the girl with the socks with the monkeys on them. But yeah, you will provide your own socks and shorts.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Is that it?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to keep going. So you can email and text your players out of your Got Sport account. You know, don't wait until you have to email them. You know, get used to that now if that's how you're going to communicate with them. Add your jersey numbers, print your game cards, print your medical releases, print your official rosters, and we'll go over your account Saturday morning. I'll pull it up on that screen out there, and I'll show you how to get your roster. And please do not clone your roster. Do not clone your roster. I can't stress that enough. But we will. I'll go through my account and kind of show you guys how to navigate through. I don't email or text from Got Sport, but we'll go through that. Print your medical releases and all that. I'll go through that on the screen. You log into your account with your same username and password that you registered as a coach. So on Coach's Corner, there's just an amazing amount of information. Barbara and the ladies in the office have just answered question after question after question. So they ended up creating these helps, and they're really good. They've changed a little bit with Got Sport, and you know, it's really a good place to go on the coach's corner to find this stuff. So seating arrangements earlier, you know, the comment was we're on the other side of the field. At U6 through U8, here's your seating arrangement. Home will sit on the north or the east side of the field, depending on the orientation of the field. We live in Northeast Oklahoma. That's our home, and home sits on northeast side of the field. That's an easy way to remember it. And if you get there, you're home, and the visiting team set on the northeast side of the field, please don't ask them to move. If they're already set up, just take the other side of the field. But if you're there first and you're home, take the right side. If you're visitors, take the south or west side. U9, U10. This is when we're going to break. This is 7v7. You see the build out line, and Team A, Team B, there is no home away side. Just grab your bench, and your spectators will sit across from you. That is very important that you cover that in your team meeting. Your parents need to sit across from you, and the parent that you want to watch is the parent that sits on the 50. That's the parent that's going to cost you some issues. And I'm kidding when I say that. Nobody can sit behind the goals. If COVID gets up, or, you know, David Reddick said earlier that the numbers are not good in COVID right now. We might have to get to where we are sitting behind the goals, you know, in that area, but not directly behind the goal. But normally you would not sit behind the goal. You know, ask your parents to get 5 yards off the line so that the kids can play. Here's a U11 through U19 field. It's the same. There's just no build out lines, and everything else is the same though. There's no line there where the spectator standoff line. There's no line painted on Broken Arrow soccer fields. So, you know, we need at least 5 yards, and U19, I would say you need more than that. I mean, these kids want to play when they're going to play to the line. Can I discipline a player by reducing playing time? Yes, but only if you presented a handwritten, golly, I will be much better tomorrow. Only if you presented a written guideline at the beginning of the season. It has to be before your first game, and all players' parents need to sign it. And it lays out your expectations and what the possible outcome is. I have it every season for my teams, but I don't, I've never had to enforce it. My kids usually play more than 50% of the time. So you might play 85 minutes of a game. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I might cut it back to 60 minutes, and they know that, and they know they're getting their minutes cut for what they're doing. But if you're going to play below half of a game, you have to have a written guideline for everybody to sign, and you have to treat your best player just like your least experienced player. Don't play favorites. Issue with a referee, what can you do? The first step is to fill out an evaluation form. Contact the area referee. You can do that through the website. For serious conflicts, you may request that the referee sign or not assign that referee to your game. I think the hardest thing about this is perception.
Make a note that neither of those things happen at the field.
Yeah, Kevin Lemaster said neither of these things have to happen at the field, and you know, we'd rather you cool off and get away. You know, you don't storm up to the ref shack and bang on the door and demand justice. We don't need to do that. And the new coaches down in U6, this is not even really applicable to you, but you might have an issue with a referee and you want to send it in and, you know, ask them to blow their whistle louder, or, you know, maybe be more patient with the kids. That would be your complaints with quotes around it, right? But you can ask that a referee not be back to your field, but don't put your arm around them and comfort them and stuff. Man, I just can't believe coaches do that, but we do that. We need to stop. FAQ, the other team is not following the rules. Everybody's not playing 50%, no sweeper keeper. What can I do? The referee can't enforce those because it's not a direct law of the game. And the staff if we're aware of it, we can go out, you know, and talk to them. We can go out and watch a game, but it's important to us that you guys follow the rules and play everybody 50%. I have an app, and the app is called Subtime, and it's a great app. It's it's a free app. I don't pay for it. I just take the free version, but I email myself every game, and I can show you exactly how long everybody played. It's called Subtime. You could load it, and it's just a great app. If you need help with it, shoot me email and we'll get together on it. But it's really simple. It's really, really simple. So there's referees only enforce laws of the game. We can come out and try to observe, try to address it. Do I have to reschedule? No, you don't. But you do if it's for a sanctioned tournament. So if I call you and say, I need to reschedule, I'm entering, you know, OSA's State Cup, you have to reschedule. If I call you and say, hey, you know, I've got 4 players going to be gone, is there any way you can reschedule? You can say no. I can't reschedule. You know, we'll play the game or I'll forfeit it. So you do not have to reschedule unless it's a sanctioned tournament that they're going to. Soccer's year-round sport. Expect to play in the rain, cold, heat, etc. You know, they have some really good clothes now to play in the cold. It's come a long ways. Kevin's got a committee to close the fields. They meet out there, they walk through, they might close part of them, they might close the whole complex. But if you call the office phone to see if the fields are open, you're wasting your time. They don't know. And it's just not going to happen. They have no knowledge of the field. If you wanted to know something like when's the next general membership meeting, they know that. They don't know, you know, what Kevin's committee is doing. So please do not email or don't call the office. Watch the website. The field closure is up on the website. It takes up a big section of it. In the event of lightning, the sirens will go off. You must leave the field. Leave the field. My kids know if they don't leave the field that there'll be a consequence at the next practice. I don't feel comfortable telling kids what to do in front of their parents. I tell them I don't care if they all get in one car. We'll even have them in our Suburban, you know, as many as we can pile in there. But we can't stand out there on the field. You know, people die from lightning. Work for a transmission power company. So please get your kids to the cars and have that conversation at your first parent meeting. But my kids know if they don't go to their cars that it will do up downs or something at the next practice. I really don't feel comfortable telling kids what to do outside of the context of soccer in front of their parents. basoccer.club, check the field status. You can get alerts to your phone, and it's been a while since I walked through that, but you can sign up for text alerts. It's really good. Don't contact the soccer office. I didn't even realize that was at the bottom of the slide. I probably don't need to. They have zero. I mean, we're board members and we all have our jobs, and you know, they just don't handle field closures. Kevin tries to close the fields at about 4 o'clock during the week, maybe 5. What time?
During the week, 3, we try to have,
3.
It's a weeknight, and on the Saturday by 7, hopefully, and Sunday by 9.
Yeah, so Kevin's group tries to get out there early. He's saying 3, 4 o'clock at the latest on weekdays, and by 7:30 during the week. So give us a chance, give him a chance, give his crew a chance to get out there, assess the fields, and then they'll figure out what's going to stay open. And I have a 15-minute meeting with my teams, and you know, I don't get a lot of feedback, but I start a conversation with them. They understand the expectations, and I don't like confrontation, but you know, sometimes it's going to happen. depending on the parent and their personality type. So be ready for that. I would just strongly encourage you to set out clear expectations of what you expect on behavior, both in parent and player. Just be respectful to each other. You know, that's not too much to ask. You're volunteering your time. Make sure they understand that. Got to wear shin guards when you play soccer. You know, soccer shoes. What does that mean at U6? If I had a kid come out in tennis shoes, I would not care. You know, whatever you want to play in, man. I just want you to have fun. I bring an air pump to my practices. I try to keep their balls aired up. I don't bring water. I used to, and guess what? I turned into a camel. I packed so much water. I quit packing water, and guess what? They brought their own water. So I taught myself a lesson there. Don't bring water, and they'll bring their own. Pick a single topic. Don't try to teach everything. And I'm going to go through this really fast. So please read the slide. End with a scrimmage. End every practice that you can with a scrimmage. Make it fun, creating games or competitions out of drills. I give points to younger kids if we're practicing shooting for every goal they score, every cone they knock over, depending on their age group. Maybe it's 500 points instead of 1 point. You know, little kids get excited when they start scoring 500 points every time they knock a cone over or whatever they're trying to do. Hit me with a ball. There are tons of resources out there on the website. Broken Arrow has some stuff on our website. Soccer Experts, good. United Coaches you pay for, but it's really got just some really good information. If you take a grassroots course, you'll have a whole season of lessons in there that you can draw from. You can print them off. And that's at US Soccer, and I'll go over this again Saturday. Take a coaching class. Even if you don't know the game, you'll be surprised how much you learn. Even if you do know the game is probably what that should say, and it does. Even if you know the game, you'll be surprised how much you learn. Contact the head coach. I can help you. I can put you in touch with somebody. Jason's running practices right now with one of his teams. You could go out and watch some of these guys run their sessions and learn a ton. The best coaches know how to steal stuff. I promise you that from other coaches. And I'm not talking about their gear. I'm talking about their ideas. Don't steal other people's gear. So pick a topic, write it out. So if you get, sidetracked or whatever, you can get right back to it. Develop a initial activity focused on the fundamentals. Go from small to large. This is how I'm going to word that. Go to simple to complex, and try to finish with a scrimmage. And I'm speed reading those bullets, and we will go over a little bit of this on Saturday. It's just a blank sheet that you could print off if you wanted to. If you take the grassroots course, there'll be a better sheet. Show up prepared, know what you're doing before you arrive, make it fun. Rethink drills to make them into a game. For example, rather than just dribbling through cones, make it a race. We shift gears, first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, first gear, reverse, and, they're going at different speeds, forward and backwards. Try not to spend too much time lecturing. You guys, I'm sure you're dying right now. This is tough, man, and we're adults, and this is important. I'm trying to get this information out, but this is really hard. Avoid lines. Try to keep them short. Challenge them. Challenge your players, and that's going to be one of the hardest things. You're going to have an athlete, and you have a kid that's not an athlete, but you don't know who's going to stay in soccer. You want them all to develop a love for it. You don't want to run anybody out of it. So just, really work on challenging all your players. Notify the team to arrive before the game. So we're doing game time prep, usually 30 minutes ahead. Set up the flags if you're home, and make sure you put them away. Put those flags away when you're done. Even if there's not somebody standing on the field, put them up. Even if it's 8 o'clock in the morning and somebody's going to play after you, please put them up, because we don't know what goes on during the day. Home is white, away is orange. Older, home is light, away is dark. If you only have one uniform, if you have a dark uniform, get some light targets and just have them throw a target on during the game. if you're not contrasting, print your game cards. Don't think about not printing them all at one time. Player passes for U11 above, and you can get the instructions off the coach's corner on how to print those. Run warm-ups, have your team ready, know what you're going to do before you get to the game time or to the game. I never change my warm-up, and I never introduce anything on game day. Game day is a day to have fun. It's not to learn a new drill or learn a new technique. It's a day to have fun. So try not to use game day as, we got to show them the lines. We got to show them, the field when they're younger for sure. Right. But I don't sit there and drill them on game day. It's their day to have fun. Have a game ball picked out, aired up and ready to go. You got to have a registered coach on your sidelines. It could be the assistant coach, it could be a manager. It could be me. If you can't make your game and I'm out there, I could coach your game because I'm a registered coach. I'm not on your roster, but I have a card with me. Usually all the time. I have my card in my wallet or in my truck. But somebody registered has to be on your bench or they're not going to kick off the game. You're going to forfeit. It's very important. Don't become a remote control coach. Let them play the game. Let them play at games as they develop. They'll need to learn to think for themselves. Garen will talk about this on Saturday. Don't put a person behind the goal to help your team. It's aggravating. I've seen teams do it, and I will definitely tell your team to get out from behind the goal, and I won't be a jerk about it. I'll be very nice, but 6'2", 250. If I'm sitting there yelling at Peyton's team, your team is not going to come near me if I'm sitting there screaming my head off behind the goal, which I wouldn't do that anyway. I wouldn't scream my head off. We don't do that to our teams, but don't put a dad behind the goal. Find help. Team manager, assistant coach, enormous help. If you're late from getting there from work, maybe your spouse can drop your kid off in the gear and your assistant will get it started. I had an assistant coach that she liked foot skills. So if I got called to work, I work for a transmission power company, and there's times that I can't get off on time. She would run that foot skills. It was great. My kids never missed a practice. Use the internet. There's tons of topics out there. Find a mentor. We have a competitive division in Broken Arrow Soccer Club. I could get you in touch with some of those guys. You could go watch them run a session. You could talk to them, pick their brain. And there's also recreational rec select coaches. There's all kinds of coaches here at the club that maybe I could get you plugged into. Most parents don't know the rules of the game. Send them the rules, educate them, help us educate them. Soccer's a contact sport. Every age division where you move up, it seems like we get a lot of emails from parents. Hey, this is happening. And, it's inside the context of soccer. So it's not, U13 is a big one. When you go up to U13, U9 is a big one. We get a lot of calls. U7's another one. So parents, coaches can't enter the field until the referee invites them. Parents shouldn't enter the field ever, but I'm sure there's going to be an exception to that. But let them know that at your first practice, tell them to stay off field. So if you enter the field, the player will have to leave. They can come right back on, at the next substitution, but the player leaves unless it's the goalie. There's the complex map. You can find that online. It's Indian Springs Sports Complex. It's at the very south end of 145th. Man, I cannot thank you guys enough for coaching a team. You guys, Peyton and Matt, helped me find coaches this year, and I definitely had some hours into it. But you guys made it pretty easy for us this season. Now I just need you to get registered and complete your 3 requirements so we can sign you to the team. Please send me email when you get those requirements met. Please come out Saturday. And, I apologize for going over tonight, and we'll talk Saturday. Any questions you have, write them down and we'll answer them Saturday. I'll get we got a nice TV out there. I'll have some stuff on the TV for you. We might run some coaches through some drills instead of players. I just got to get my head around what the weather's going to be. Is there any questions that can't wait until Saturday?
Rick, quick question. I just want to know when you say flags. I mean, what do you mean with that? By that? Because sorry if it's a silly question, but
What's class?
Flags.
no, the flags.
Oh, flags. Yeah, I guess I should specify flags. So you have corner flags, and 4v4 does not have corner flags. 7v7 and above have corner flags, and we store them in the shed out at the complex. They're in a locked shed. In the code, there's a punch code on the door handle. It's a little punch code that you enter 142, and you can open up the door and you can grab your 4 flags out and set up your corner flags. That's the corner flags.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so
I
much.
said you won't have corner flags. I
For
think
U6.
you're U7, right?
U6.
U6, okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nothing. Kylie Galloway says thank you.
Oh, thank you. I seriously, some of you guys, I talked your ears off of and tried to encourage you to sign up and have a great season with your kids. Have a great season with your team. And like I said, I'm gonna shut this down. I went over, and again, I apologize for that, but there's a lot of information. Don't get overwhelmed. We cannot help you if we don't know you need help. If for some reason Friday comes and you still don't have a practice field, shoot me email. And I mean next Friday. I don't mean tomorrow or day after tomorrow. My days are running together this week. We've been busy up here at the club. So shoot me email. I will get you help. Have patience with me. Some days I get a lot of emails. Sometimes I don't.
And you have a full-time job.
Yeah, I have a full-time job, man. We could talk about step distance protection or impedance relays or differential bus protection. We could talk about that. That's always interesting. But shoot me text, man. I'm a big texter. It's shoot me text. You've got my number. So with that, I'll end it if nobody else has anything. Thank you guys so much. Stop share.